virus infection. Okay, hepatitis E in pregnancy. The hepatitis in pregnancy is a challenging disease. Pakistan is endemic for all types of hepatitis, and both epidemic and sporadic forms have been reported. Hepatitis E, a waterborne agent, the infection being usually acquired by drinking contaminated water. Because we are a developing nation with generally low socioeconomic status and poor hygienic conditions, and this infection is transmitted enterically, so there are many cases that have been reported in our population. Although it is a self-limiting infection, however, in pregnancy, it can lead to quite devastating fetal and maternal outcomes. So, the objective of my study was to determine the clinical presentations, maternal morbidity, mortality, and the fetal outcomes in a tertiary care hospital. It was a cross-sectional study that was carried out from a period of July 2022 to January 2023, and the cohort included 49 females. The sample size was calculated by only one study that we had on the incidence of this disease in pregnancy, and it was 0.19%, and the p-value was set at 0.05. The inclusion criteria included all the pregnant women who tested positive for hepatitis E IgM by ELISA, and we excluded all other pregnant females that tested positive for other hepatitis, but not for IgM hepatitis E. It was a non-probability convenient sampling. We used data analysis by PSS version. Categorical variables and numerical variables were summarized. Chi-square test and Whitney-U test were applied. Results. Okay, my results showed that the most common feature was jaundice that was observed in about 90% of the cases, around 40, that was observed in 97% of the cases. I'm sorry, the percentage cannot be seen, although I had put it in here, but it was present in almost 97% of the cases. So jaundice was our main presenting complaint. It was followed by vomiting, that was seen in 40% of the cases, followed by fever that was seen in 15 individuals, around 20% of the cases. There was appetite loss that was observed in 11, and the most worrying complication, encephalopathy, that was seen in 10 of the female, which means 20% of our population presenting had encaph. Bleeding that was also seen, and that was in direct relation to the coagulopathy that we saw, and it was present in 4 females initially, and this was around 8% of our study population. Okay, then we divided our results by studying the clinical parameters based on the maternal survival. We saw, was there any difference between those mothers who survived to those who did not? So the most important thing that I observed in my study was that the age of the population was around 25. So we divided, median age was 25, we divided some into less than 25 and more than 25. Then we divided according to the trimesters, previous history of hepatitis viruses like A, B, E virus, similar diseases in the family. We also use NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, which is a glutathione reductase. We also give this treatment. So I also checked for that as well. Okay, was there any difference in those patients we were giving NAC to those patients who did not was given NAC? And then we use some liver tonics, but it was seen that only patients with a previous history of hepatitis A were significantly increased mortality was noted in those cases. Similarly, the biochemical parameters that we saw included serum bilirubin, ALT, AST, alk-phos, prothrombin increased time, INR, duration of the stay in the hospital, duration of ailment, and duration of encephalopathy. So it was seen that serum bilirubin, ALT, PT-INR was significantly raised, and the p-value was significantly positive in those mothers who had died. Unfortunately, they had very high values of ALT, PT-INR, and bilirubin time. And the duration of hospital stay was significantly raised in those mothers who had survived. Similar things were studied on the basis of the outcomes of fetal survival, and it was seen that trimester in which the mother was presenting was very important for the fetal survival. And as we can see, that third trimester, the survival chances were more as compared to those fetuses, unfortunately, in who the mother presented in the second trimester. Apart from that, the clinical biochemical parameters, they did not differ on the basis of fetal survival in our study groups. The p-value was not significant. The complications and the outcome of my study showed that coagulopathy was present in more than 49% of the cases, and CAF was seen in more than 30%, cholestasis was seen in around 18%, bleeding was seen in around 10%, 3 patients had renal disease, which was less than 6%, and 1 patient presented with ascites, that was around 2%. The outcome showed that there was a high maternal and fetal mortality. 3 patients, 3 mothers died, and this is around 6% of the pregnant female of our population. The fetal death was 20 fetuses, 20 fetuses, and it was more than 40% of our fetuses that died. So I would like to now conclude that the study highlights that hepatitis E has significant impact on pregnancy. Maternal survival is dependent on elevated bilirubin, ALT, prothrombin, and INR time, and gestational age at birth is crucial for the baby's survival. Recommendations. My first recommendation is the screening of pregnant females for hepatitis E infection should be done, and vigilant monitoring of clinical parameters of the positive cases is important to improve the prognosis. Educating women on preventive measures and promoting proper antenatal care are essential. Access to clean drinking water and better sanitary conditions is essential. And one suggestion is that we should go and try for vaccination of pregnant females with hepatitis E, which might help in preventing the severity outcomes. Thank you. These are